Hi guys, and welcome to this week's art club. What you're going to need today, you're going to need your art pack unopened, and this week the drawing on front is a sort of a mermaid bird, you might have noticed. You'll need that. You'll need pencils or crayons or markers, whatever you like to draw with, and a pair of scissors would come in really handy today as well. And that's pretty much it for today. So before we begin, grab yourself your drawing materials and a scrap piece of paper. It doesn't have to be anything special. It could be something from the recycling, or if you have a piece of just A4 paper or something like that, grab those things. Just pause the video if you like and get them together. And we're just going to do a quick drawing exercise before we begin, just to get us in the mood for drawing and to get us thinking about the theme. Okay, so you have got a piece of paper, some description, and something to draw with. It doesn't matter, even if it's just a pencil. We're going to do a sketch of an animal. What I'm going to do is read out a description, and then you can draw what I've described. You might like to just listen to the whole description, and then you can pause the video and do the drawing. And you might even need to rewind and go back and listen again. But I'll read out the description now. So, it is related to the unicorns. It is the colour of a tortoise. It is covered with thick scales, kind of like a snake. It is the size of an elephant. It has very sharp horns and it sharpens them on rocks. It is fast, very fast, and it wears a hard armour suit on its body. So quickly, some of those points again. It is related to the unicorn. It's the colour of a tortoise. It's covered in thick scales like a snake. It's the size of an elephant. It has very sharp horns and it sharpens them on rocks. It is fast, very fast, and it wears a hard armour suit on its body. So pause the video and do a 2 or 3 minute drawing sketching out the animal that I've described, and then let's see what you come up with. So great, you've done your drawing. Will I tell you where I got that from? So about 500 years ago, somebody arrived in Europe and described this animal, and what they were describing was a rhino. But of course, at the time, they didn't have photography. Did they have TV? They didn't have TV. There was no way to see it for real. They didn't have them in Europe. So they had to just go by this description. So somebody travelled a long way away, arrived back and said, I saw this animal. And they described this animal. And they got a very famous artist at the time called Albert Dürer to do a drawing based on the description. So I'll show you the drawing that that artist came up with, and you can compare it to your drawing and see how similar it is. So here's his drawing now. How does it look compared to yours? I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if they're very similar, or maybe they're very different. It's very difficult when you're just given a description of an animal like that to kind of figure out what it's like, and often you end up trying to base it on things you already know. So maybe yours is like this one. Maybe you were thinking of a rhino yourself when you heard the description, even though the description was quite strange. So at this time, about 500 years ago or so, there was a big effort being made to make books with information about all the animals around the world, even though the people who were writing the books might have never gone to those places or seen the animals. So they had to base their drawings and information on eyewitness accounts. So like this account of the rhino, it was somebody who saw the rhino and then travelled and just told them, I saw this animal and this is the story, this is what it looks like. Similarly, they did that with lots of different animals, and some of them, as you will see, are very strange. In this particular book, which I'm going to show you, they tried to make a sort of dictionary, like an encyclopedia of every single animal in the world. And here's a picture they did of a donkey, for example. Now this book was done in England, and at the time they had donkeys in England. So the artist was able to look outside at a donkey and go, oh, okay, perfect, and drew this picture, which is very like a donkey, as you might have seen before. But how about this animal? So take a close look at that guy, or girl, who knows? It's a strange one. So this animal is also in the book. And it came from a description of something they called a bear ape. And I'll read some of the description to you so you can see what they had to base their drawing on. The description was, it's a strange and deformed beast. Its body is short and its belly hangs very low, that it touches the ground. Its head and face is like that of a human child. Its claws are long and it has only 3 fingers on every foot. It is hairy and it cries like a baby. So have a look at the picture. I wonder what they saw that gave them that description. Now, it might have been, I don't know about you, but maybe some kind of monkey, possibly. Some people said that when we did this in the class. But you can see that it's a very strange looking creature. But the artist only had this description to go on. So there you go. Now, let's have a look at this next one. So this one is, I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? The description for this one said something along the lines of a creature with the body of a lion, the tail of a scorpion, and 5 rows of teeth, and always smiling, and a man's face. And really, the artist has done exactly as described, haven't they? Have a really close look at it. It's strange, isn't it? It's like a real weird mixture of lots of different animals. Let's have a look at another one. Here's another one. And this one, as you can see, I mean, I'm pretty sure this might not be real, but I mean, I don't know. I've never seen one myself. So this creature, they said, was like a lizard, but had 7 heads that were kind of like human heads, but maybe monkey heads. And each one of the heads had a very charming personality. So the artist, I think, did quite a good job of trying to figure out how to draw these very strange and unusual creatures. And I was thinking about that while I was looking at the book, and I was thinking, God, that must have been good fun. So why don't we create our own strange animals that might be mixed up animals of lots of different creatures? And you can decide, where do they live, what do they sound like, all these different things. So as an example, for the one we were doing when we were doing it in the class, I came up with this one here, which is like a bird octopus and a frog snail, and they're having a little conversation. They're also wearing quite fancy hats, and they're out in the forest. Here's another one. Let's see. This one of a bird and a sort of turtle lizard, and the bird has got human hands, and it's interviewing the turtle lizard for a TV show. So, you know, there you go. How do we come up with the drawings? Okay, so go ahead and open your pack and let's see what's in there to help us make our work today. So in your art pack, you have got a picture of some animals, like something like this. Now, some people have different animals to mine. There's a couple of different options that you might have gotten. And you will have a very cool piece of blue paper. This is called carbon paper, and it's really important today, so keep that safe. And then you'll also have some pieces of card in your pack, which are to draw on. You can decide to draw on a full A4 like that, or the way they're folded, you could just draw on the half A4 like that, and you could do 1, 2, 3, 4 drawings if you like. What you're going to do is, first of all, cut up this sheet so that you have each head as a separate piece like that. So there's one there, and I have a tiger here, so that you basically have each one like an individual head. Then you're going to get your piece of card and put it on the table like that. The blue paper, when it's folded, this is the kind of back and the front is inside. This front piece is where there's some ink, blue ink. So you're going to put the blue ink side down on your sheet. So blue ink down on the sheet. And then you can place at least 2 animal heads. I'm going to put this tiger head and this what looks like a turtle head here. And then you're literally going to just trace around the heads like this. And if you like, you can pick up a lot of the details. So for example, the texture of the fur, you could pick up with this one. This one has a lot of whiskers. You could pick up that as well, draw that in. Okay, so there's a tiger head drawn. And then I'm going to draw over here this sort of turtle head. And again, pick up as much of the detail as you can. So this one has some wrinkles. I'm going to draw them in. And you can take a lot longer with your drawing. So say you've done that, you're going to take that aside and then remove your blue sheet. And what has happened? Oh my gosh, the drawing has transferred onto your page. So if you find that that hasn't happened, it might just be that your blue sheet was facing the wrong way, and you'll see that your blue lines were actually on the back of this sheet instead of on this one. So if you find that you take the blue sheet away and you're like, oh no, where's my drawing? Just bring it back and you just need to flip it and use it that way, because only one side has ink, the other side doesn't. Then when you have two heads at least, but you might decide to do multiple heads, you're going to invent a body for them. So for this tiger, I'm going to think, okay, I think I make a kind of a snail shell. So it's kind of got a snail shell, and I'm also going to give it a kind of a bird body and its wings like this. It's having a conversation with this kind of turtle figure. And let's see, it's a turtle head, and I think I'm going to give it a worm body. But as well as a worm body, I think I might give it a lot of little feet, kind of human feet. It's kind of unusual. And so I've done mine here, and I have got a sort of a turtle worm many-footed thing with a tiger bird snail, and they're having a chat. So you can have a look at your drawing once you've done it and decide, okay, what are they talking about? And you might like to add it in. So I'm going to imagine that this one is giving this one a lecture about the importance of being kind, say. This creature's very kind, saying it's always best to be kind. And then I think maybe this creature isn't so nice, so it's saying whatever. So that's their conversation. And I might add more and more speech bubbles. I might create a whole load of back and forth conversation between them. And then you can decide, where are they? I think these guys are going to be in maybe in a forest. So I might start drawing trees in the background, or maybe they're just sitting in a house, or maybe they're in space, or maybe they're, I mean, who knows, they could be in a lake, they could be under the ocean. I mean, it's really up to you where your creatures are going to be having their funny or important or whatever kind of conversations you decide yours are having. And that is how we're going to work today. So what you will find as well is that with that blue sheet, you can actually use it a few times. So even when you've done one, you can pick up another page and start another one. And you could keep on adding animals. So for example, in the class, somebody did one where they used their blue sheet and they put like 6 heads on the page and they joined them up and they made one animal out of 6 heads, which was quite cool. And each head was like speaking a different language. So it was really interesting. And someone else did the complete opposite, which was they just did one animal. So they had the head and then they made the body, and that was it. So up to you guys. Try first with 2, having a conversation, and then you can keep on working and trying different ways after that. So great. I hope you enjoy it, and please do share the work that you make. It's always lovely to see what people are doing, and for other people to see it so they can get ideas as well. So we're all sharing ideas all the time, which is brilliant. And let me know how you get on anyway, and if there's any trouble, get in touch. Talk to you guys later. Bye.